And we're back with another podcast, and Brian has rejoined again. After last week, he was voting, doing his civic duty for the week.
My man, Brian, way to go. Way to help us out.
Yeah. You may have been the vote that put Biden over in Pennsylvania. You never know.
You know what? Honestly, let's just give Brian the credit here. I think he's long overdue. The $1,000 face, the $1 million face. He helped Biden get elected.
Yes.
Way to go, Brian. We're proud of you.
I'm just going to throw you guys under the bus. All three of us did.
I mean, it's not even throwing us under the bus, but it's just, you know.
Yeah, mine did a couple weeks before you did, but yeah.
Yeah. But no, we're saying, like, your vote, because you voted later than us, your vote could have been the one that pushed Biden ahead of Trump.
More than likely, it would have been our two, because ours was mail-in ballot.
That's true, actually.
That was that day.
Mine was counted immediately. Yours was not.
No. Well, right.
Technically, you guys were after me.
We made the difference. Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, because they count the in-person ballots first.
Yeah, those are great. Those memes that came out from like Philadelphia and all that were great.
Oh my god, dude! There's so many great memes out there. I love it.
Oh, Philly memes, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went into my polling place and I walked in and the person was like, "Have you ever voted?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Here?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Where?" I was like, "Out in Lancaster." He's like, "Oh, okay." And that's because that's where I voted my first time.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Okay, so." I'm like, "Where do I go?" He's like, "You never been here?" I was like, "No, never been here in my life." I'm like, "I didn't know this place existed."
Wait, because where did you end up going?
I had to go to Devereaux.
Oh, okay.
But not the one near Westchester, not the one like up towards like the movie theater. Because that's where I was gonna drive to the movie theater, and my mom's like, "No, that's the wrong one, Brian. You're going the opposite way." I'm like, glad you told me.
He just shows up right in a minute. Where is everybody?
Literally.
Where's the long line of people voting?
Yeah, right.
So like I went, and it was just kind of uncomfortable because I was like I didn't know where to go anywhere. I mean, it was a gym. It was like simple. Like there wasn't anywhere else to go. But like there were like 5 different lines. I'm like, which line do I go to?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like. So what they did, they kind of like they separated lines by last names.
Yep.
First, like the one I went to when I was in Lancaster for school, you just walked in, gave your registration, like your voter registration, and once an open ballot place opened, you walked over to it.
There you go.
Also, I didn't bring my voter registration with me. I found it on Sunday.
There you go.
Through a whole bunch of stuff.
Little late, but better late than never. So
yeah, he got it.
I had my ID.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I found it and I was like, "Oh, this is where it is."
Found it.
Yeah. Yeah, we missed you last week, but we piled on. We talked mostly about the podcast itself, but yeah, we piled on. Plowed on without you.
I mean, I know it's hard to do. Someone had to do it.
Yeah,
it really is. So we're going to have the $1,000 face back. So
yeah, you let Jeff gloat in him winning in the wax people winning that poll.
Wax.
I don't know I don't know who you have following you, but I don't know why they're.
You know what? I accept the outcome.
Okay.
Because you know why? It's democracy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the more people wanted it, so they won, which is how democracy work.
Got it.
I accept it.
You accept it?
I accept it. You let the people vote.
You're not a sore loser, is what we're hearing, Brian.
You're gonna peacefully go away.
Dictator, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. All right.
Got it.
Because if it was, I wouldn't have a say, but I gave the people the vote, the option to vote.
Right.
There you go.
Right to vote on my page, which is democracy. Not really. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't.
Anyway,
but if you remember from that last podcast, I had a couple segments here and there that I wanted to wait for when Brian was on to talk about.
I have one of them written down.
You do?
I'm excited.
Well, it's more like a topic, I guess, instead of like a segment, you could say.
All right, before you got that, I want to hop in to one of the conversations you two had. last podcast.
No. I honestly, I don't even remember what we had last week. So
and
the
break.
conversation was, yeah, right. Goodbye.
All right, so what it is that you guys are talking
It is
about
what it is.
the World Series
Oh yeah.
and how
Yes, Justin Turner. Yes,
blank on his name right now.
And he had
Justin Turner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't wearing a mask
Yep.
on the field.
I mean, he was, but he wasn't. He put it on, put it off.
And he did test positive
Mhm.
for COVID. And I remember Jeff saying, and what we're kind of agreeing, it was not right. It wasn't professional. It wasn't smart. All those kind of words and phrases that coincide with each other.
Yeah.
With him being on the field. How would you? I can't remember what you said about if you would have worn a mask or whatever. I'm not sure if you guys touched on that. I can't remember.
We didn't really. We touched more on the fact that he was just out there, just without a mask at times.
And correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows, I think he did have a mask on at first, but then I think for like the picture and whatnot, like he took it off.
Yeah, and like there's a video of him like putting it on and off.
Yeah.
So
the only issue I had with it, and like I even said it then, that I get wanting to celebrate, and we can even bring this up to Notre Dame, all those kids doing the storm the field after they won and upset Clemson. In that moment, it's like, yeah, you just won the World Series.
Deal.
You want to celebrate. That's what you do in college when you have a big victory. You just storm the field. You storm the court. It happens in basketball, football, and all that. And they get it. But my thinking that maybe not like it as much is that he was a player rep. So he was part of the players that kind of set the boundaries towards what are the guidelines to what the players had to follow. So that was kind of my issue with what he was doing and being out there, plus putting all those people in effect, even though the damage was already done at that point because he was already out there until the like 8th inning or something like that.
Yeah. So
yeah, I do have one thing to say. I'm going to wait because I want to hear Brian's input on this first.
So I agree in a sense where it was not probably feasible for him to be out there. There wasn't a benefit he had. However, I'm gonna side with the fact why he was out there. I'm gonna side the fact that he's there on multiple reasons, multiple steps.
Sure.
One, he was already around the players. Like same thing as football and like basketball. You're in the locker room with them. Like if you had it, they're gonna get it. Or
they're gonna get it too. Yeah.
You're already in contact with them in the dugout.
Fair enough.
Like you're already with them. It'd be like if I was with you guys and all of a sudden I had it, like, but I was already, but we had to be in the same house. We had to be constantly in contact. So like, you're already involved with me.
Right.
The image has already been done.
Yeah. Especially when you're like
being on the field, right?
Yeah.
Also, winning that scale of the game, winning everything. I agree to throwing that out the window. I know he said he was part of the people who was guidelines. Yeah, go out, wear a mask, but go to the field. Like, enjoy that moment, enjoy that victory of how hard you guys worked for.
Because again, to be fair, you may never get there again. Players and athletes have talked about how difficult it is just to make the championship series or that game.
And even going back to the beginning of the season.
I'm not even talking about guaranteed. I'm talking about the fact that like how hard you worked, all the hours you put in.
Well, right. That's my point, though. Is again like the fact that you worked so hard.
I've been in situations where like if it wasn't a situation of COVID, but we're gonna jump on the field even though we're not supposed to or whatever. Or the players who are on the sidelines who played early in the game but couldn't finish the game for whatever reason. You shouldn't really go out, but now like that we go out. We go do it.
It's a moment. Yeah.
It's a moment. It's a phenomenal feeling. So it's just that thing of going back to
that adrenaline rush where you can't help yourself. You just like you see everyone else celebrate. It's a big deal. You want to get out there with everyone and with your teammates and everything. And I get that. Again, like, yeah. So the before I make other comments or say one other thing I do want to get to real quick about this topic. Brian, go ahead. I want you to finish what your thoughts are.
Other than me saying like, you should wear a mask if you do it, but like, I don't see an issue with it really. It's hard to go back and forth. You made the guidelines, so you gotta like, but you won the World Series.
Yeah.
Go on. Like, even if you go on the field, like, maybe distance yourself a little bit until the picture, take the picture, then distance back off. But like, I see both sides of why it's bad and why people don't like it and why people like it's okay.
Yeah.
So I would slightly lean on the other side of saying like, just go celebrate.
Yeah. And truth be told, all these sports leagues are going to have this.
They can just like downgrade you. Everyone can do that, but you know what? You won. Like,
yeah.
What would they do if someone won like a Nobel Peace Prize or whatever?
Right.
Like, oh, you can't come up here because you can't like accept it because I'm too close to you, right?
Yeah.
It's like your idol's handing you the Nobel Peace Prize.
You're right.
It's like I could be like, nah, I'm not gonna take it. My idol is standing in front of me, willing to hand me this, right? It's the same kind of situation. It's the same kind of concept of you won this monumental game. And it's sitting in front of you to celebrate. You're not going to say no.
No.
Right. Yeah. No. And again, like it's you kind of have to like see both sides. Again, like, was it smart? No, but in the moment,
you understand.
Anyone else would have done the same thing.
Especially with the history of the Dodgers and how close they've come all these years. Look at how close, how many times they've been to the World Series or been to NLCS, and they've come up very short, or again, just short in general. And it's a gut-wrenching feeling. It sucks. It's, and again, to finally capture that dream of finally being able to call yourself a World Series champion, but that's something not many people. Obviously there's a World Series champion every year, of course, but it takes a lot of hard work and effort to get there. It takes a lot to get there, and you can't. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but real quick, I do want to say this though, because I saw this report, and because it's relevant because we're talking about it again now. The Dodgers organization had 5 positive coronavirus tests 10 days after winning the World Series. Just want to put that out there. So again, like what Brian did say, it is true that damage is already done. He was already around his teammates and whoever. So if someone's going to get it, clearly.
I mean, we've been in a dugout before. You know how tight that space is. So the damage should have been done.
Like, people wouldn't get it or they would, or him being on the field without a mask was the reason for this. I mean, it might have been, but it's the idea that you're already in close contact with people.
Right.
You sitting next to somebody for a picture, when you were already standing next to them in the dugout, the damage has already been done, like I said. Like, you were next to them.
Yeah. I did just want to bring up that little point, though, again, but, regardless of where, whenever, he had COVID and everything. And, again, unfortunately, the damage was done. 5 other people did test positive for COVID. And, I again, that's kind of a little bit of an issue there, too. So
I also think it depends on the people of like the individual themselves on how they handle this pandemic in the COVID situation
and that's fair. Yeah.
A lot of people I'll put myself as an example here. I will wear a mask when asked. I will wear my mask when needed. However, if I was able to play rugby right now, I would. I wouldn't say no. Because I'd be like, cool.
It's for the same.
I would go every day. I'd go to games. I'd do everything as if COVID wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd be okay with it for my person. That's just I know I can guarantee a lot of people would feel the same way where like, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
I don't want my life to be too drastically shaped, but at the same time, I understand And I am wary. Like I got tested. I became like negative. Like I am wary. I'm respect everyone's wishes. Like I wore a mask inside a friend's house because he wanted me to for like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
If they said I didn't have to, I wouldn't have. But they said we want you to. I want to hang out, so I'm going to wear a mask for 5 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I wear a mask for the whole time at work, so it's just what you have to live with.
That's just my thing. It's like I'm not going to wear a mask if I'm not asked.
No.
I always have one on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I always carry one wherever I go. I have multiple in my car, like just in case someone's like, "Hey, can you wear a mask?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to throw a fit about it. I don't care. It's really one of those things that I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me to wear one, cool. You don't. Why would I wear one if I don't have to?
Right.
That kind of situation. I'm very indifferent about the mask.
Yeah, I feel like that's where a lot of people are right now with the mask.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have to wear it, like if you're going to the grocery store or whatever, where you kind of have to, you're gonna wear it. But if you're just gonna go outside to like run to do a run or something, I'm not gonna wear a mask. Fuck that. Who wants to run with a mask on?
I mean, like
I know Didi Gregorius did it. He played a whole season with the mask on.
I mean, people don't wear masks sometimes in my gym.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's where I'm like, I'm gonna wear a mask, not for myself, but for others.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Tell me, working out in the mask isn't fun.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna complain about it because I'm like,
right.
People ask me to.
Oh. What was that?
It was a notification.
Don't say.
My computer needs to be updated.
I don't know who that was, but I figured it out by the answer.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Maybe what?
I've realized I didn't know if it was you or if it was Jeff, and then you answered that it was you, so I figured it out. It was you. That was from your laptop.
Yeah, my laptop needs to be updated for the past like 3 months.
Yeah.
Anyway, Whitmer wanted to talk about topics because he wanted me to be here with him.
Yes, there was 2 because we can get to the sports one because it had a sports type question, but it was kind of related around football and stuff like that. And we've talked about it on our hockey podcast here and there, but that thinking of over expecting or over analyzing like really young talent and just expecting like their ceiling to already be hit like once they hit the field. Like I think a clear example of this, and maybe he will be, but we don't know. But Trevor Lawrence, we've known he was going to be the first overall pick since his freshman year of Clemson. Now, everyone's going to have that. Oh, he's going to have great expectations because he was going to be the first overall pick. He's got all these skill sets. He's got a great arm. He's got all this skill set, and then it's just one of those things like. I feel like there's a lot, at least more so, there's a lot of people that put so much pressure on these young guys to kind of perform
live up
well.
to the height.
Yeah, live up to the height. And for some reason, I feel like there's so many people. And the one thing is that I always see this come up like every offseason wherever people saying, oh, who's the elite quarterback? Who are like the top elite quarterbacks? And I feel like that's such a small margin that why isn't just good or a great quarterback the thing? Why does it have to be an elite quarterback? Because for me, an elite quarterback is you're one of the top like ever. You're not only just going to be great every game, but you're going to be history books. You're almost stenciled into the playoffs every year, no matter what your team is. So essentially, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes at this point seems to be that type of elite quarterback who's just getting better every year. That's just kind of a thought I had, and I just kind of want to get your guys' thinking on that. Okay.
I know my stance. I know my thought. I want to hear Jeff's. I know mine already.
So it's a huge reason why we brought this up is because, there are a couple NHL players already who they're deemed like the top 20 like defensemen in the league. And this is literally like their second full year in the NHL that they
sometimes
just had.
First. Some of them are.
And sometimes first. And Whitmer and I were discussing like, basically, is it a little premature to decide that this is although they showed great flashes of greatness in their first year, that doesn't guarantee that they're a top 20 player in the league already. Compared to guys who have been around the league for years and everything. So. The way I put it is, and I explained this to Mike and those who watched and listened to our hockey podcast the other day. Every time I'm trying to determine someone's, kind of career in a way, I give them a 3-year rule. The first year, if they have a great year, that's great. The second, if it's a fluke, or sorry, not a fluke, if it's a bad year, that sucks. But year 2 comes around, and if you have a bad year the first year, year 2 is okay. I'm trying to prove in year 2, this was not a fluke last year. I can do it this again. If you have a bad year, then the year 3 is really what matters, and says, all right, first year I had a great year, second year is a bad year. I have to make sure that I can kind of prove to myself that it wasn't just a one-hit wonder year, basically like a one-year wonder kind of thing where I'm actually a good enough player and I can prove that, a majority of my career. Like, everyone has bad years. I get that happens, but by that 3rd year, whether you're a player or a coach kind of thing, it will kind of help determine on what kind of, player you could potentially be. Not saying that's always the case, but that's just something I've always been interested in the last couple of years, just seeing like what the first 3 years are like for a player's career,
Okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it, definitely.
Right. I don't know why. It's always something I've always looked at the last couple of years specifically. I've been trying to look at, because again, a player could have a terrible, terrible rookie year, but then the next 3 years they kill it. So it's like, all right, if you had a bad first year, you just gotta prove the doubters wrong, saying, all right, I'm actually made for this league kind of thing.
So I disagree with the 3-year rule.
And that's fair. Again, this is
something
that
I think everyone's different in that sense too.
Again, I'm not saying this is accurate. I'm just saying this is something I kind of just made up. I'm just thinking out loud.
Think about the way I'm gonna tell you about it. All right.
Go for it.
Reason why. So I understand, 1, 2, and 3. No matter what sport you play, no matter what level you play, the next level. So whether you go from high school, college, collegiate sport to again, I'm going to use my example. Me as an example here. Going from college rugby to men's league rugby. It was different. The guys were much bigger. I wouldn't say necessarily faster because I was fast, because I'm just fast.
Right. You're fast. Yeah, you're fast.
They had more experience than I did. So everything they did might have been faster than the reason they might have caught me, or the reason they might have anticipated me to do something, is because they knew the game better than me.
Right.
And so they could react faster than me because I did not think they were going to do that, right? Where if you went down a step, I might have gotten around it. I might have been able to do better because we were all on the same kind of page.
Right.
So moving away from that and going to more of a football standpoint, the players are faster. The people are better. The IQ is 10 times higher. You're no longer playing against freshman, sophomore, junior, senior players. You're playing against
NFL athletes.
8-year vets, 9-year vets.
The best players to play the sport you're playing against them.
You're facing grown men who, for example, in early 2000s, when rookies would have stepped against the Ravens, you got Ray Lewis as a linebacker out there.
Later on, you had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
And you had Ed Reed,
defense.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have some of the 2 best defensive players in the league. You're no longer facing okay, this guy might mess up. No, this dude doesn't mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally like
Ray Lewis out there who tore a tricep and still playing.
Yeah.
You tear a tricep in college, you're probably not going to be playing because your will's just not there to do it because this dude did it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm going to say where moving towards the question of your question, Whitmer, and Jeff's thought process on it, moving into the league, I'm going to go off football here.
Yeah.
You can anticipate an elite player, Whitmer, based off, I'd say, what they did in college. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield isn't doing great right now, but when he came in, people thought the future of Trevor Lawrence, maybe Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson. They played at top tier schools. They didn't play at JMU. They didn't play at Delaware. They didn't play at a lower tier D1 school, right?
North Dakota State.
They played at Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, LSU, Clemson, Texas Tech, all those like strong, like especially Alabama, especially like for example, Tua this year, Clemson. You got players who are playing against people who are most likely going first round draft picks, right? You're not going against somebody who's like, oh, he might be a 5th, 6th round draft. Now you're going up against players.
First round talent.
He might be first round, first pick overall. He might be second pick overall.
Could be top 10.
Could be top 10. When you're at that kind of level, those kind of players, for example, when you go to Tua or you go to Justin Herbert or stuff like that from this year and Joe Burrow, they play at the top, the biggest schools you can think of, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ones who always fight for a championship spot or a conference spot. And the conference champion, maybe go to playoffs, maybe go a higher bowl. That's what they do. So I'll go back to the idea of that they play against first, second round draft picks.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think that's why when a rookie moves in, again, Justin Jefferson going from LSU to the
Minnesota,
top talent. He's an elite wide receiver because look what he did to Clemson. Look what he did to Oklahoma. Same as Joe Burrow. Go back into Trevor Lawrence, what he's doing right now. That's why I think they can say elite players because of the talent they face in college.
Got it.
Going to Jeff's situation, the 1 to 3 year rule, I would disagree with that because going back to what I said before of the different skill levels, size, and stuff like that. The first year, really, if they do great, if they do well, cool. If they do bad, whatever. You can toss. The first year is basically
exactly.
The first year is tossed out the window. That doesn't matter because guess what? They're trying to learn what the hell is happening.
Right. They're trying to learn all the steps. They're trying to learn the system. They're trying to learn how to play at a pro speed and mentality.
I can still say not out the window, but it still doesn't mean as much till the third year because you can be, after your rookie contract, second year, okay, what are you going to do now? Where are you on the field? Do you know the playbook? Second year, you can still give them a lot of, leeway of the players because it's still their second year. They're still going up against, 8-year vets, 9-year vets, 10-year vets who study your film, study everything. They literally know what you're going to do before you do it, right? Yep. Are you looking left? And then, he's going to go look right immediately. So they're already there for the interception. That kind of stuff. So second year, I can be like, I can see why. If they do well, you want to keep it. If they don't do well, you want to keep it under contract, see what's happening. But right. I think the third year is really where the year is going to be like the outbreak year. It's like, okay, he's been in the league for 3 years now. What is he going to do? You too can lead that way as well, depending on your situation, of course.
Sure.
Of course, I think if you're given a dynasty team, be like, okay, what are you going to do with this team? We give you everything you need. Or you get Joe Burrow's situation, you got sent to the Bengals who have nobody. You can't expect him to do magic numbers and do everything. He's been throwing over 300 yards every game, whatever, the past 3-4.
Same with Herbert, but they keep losing. They both have 2 wins.
Yeah. So you can't expect them to be, okay, year 2, are they really good? I mean, dude, they got nobody. Also,
Herbert has to go up against Patrick Mahomes twice. So
you gotta see who they're looking at, who they gotta face, and who they have. So depending on the team, and if they were given just say situational, Mahomes wasn't playing, right? He was out, but they picked up a really good QB, right? Off free agency or whatever, right? Sure. Then you got to what are you gonna do with this team? You have everything you need. Are you good enough?
Right.
You're not gonna take Mahomes' spot, of course, but it's a situation you got the weapons where. Who's Herbert throwing to? Who's Burrow throwing to?
AJ Green.
Besides him,
no one.
You got one receiver.
Yeah, and that's the issue. And again, every team knows that, and they know to defend that one guy.
But for the QB, for example, he's going to try aim for AJ Green. You got to double cover his ass.
Yeah.
If you take that away, okay, who does he have? Nobody. So with that, that's the reason I would say I would debunk your thing.
Yeah, and that's fair. Yeah,
because of the learning curve you have to go through. But I can definitely see year 2 being the one like, okay, we should really see what's happening. And then year 3 is kind of like, okay, this is your 3rd year. This has been your team for this is a QB situation. This has been your team for 3 years. We had 3 drafts since you came in. These are guys you've been practicing for 3 years. So that's the reason I would debunk the 3 years, because the first year and second year are really more learning curve years.
Yeah. All right, that's fair.
And you hope that in those years after that, the coaching and general managers are building around that person who is your franchise.
Yeah. So that's what I said. I don't know if more. You had a couple more, right?
What?
You had a couple more topics.
Oh yeah, but I had a question actually that I just came into my head, because Trevor Lawrence is most likely going to the Jets first overall. Mm-hmm. And my question is going to be, if you were like that type of quarterback that you feel like you're going to go first overall, would you rather go first overall and go to like the Jets or I know the Browns have Baker Mayfield and all that, but like the Browns, the Bengals, like those bad teams, or the Jaguars, if you want to throw them in there? Or would you rather be like Jalen Hurts or someone who's later in the rounds, or even Patrick Mahomes? I think he was later in the draft as well. Which would you rather be if you were in that draft? Where you may get a better team that you would rather play for than, say, the Jets, who always suck.
So here's what I'd say. I know that there's a lot of news about him possibly playing another year. Mm-hmm. The reason I would play another year if you had more to prove. If you said I need to, like for Joe Burrow, he had to go back for school. Yeah. He had to go back and prove himself, right? Which is worked out.
Same as Tua.
Same thing. But
for Trevor Lawrence, it doesn't make sense.
He doesn't need to. Yeah. He has 3 championships, 2 championships. Yeah. He doesn't need to.
And been to 3 at least.
Yeah.
Everyone knows how good Trevor Lawrence is. So they know how good he is. There's no point for him going back for another year.
Yeah, and we all know he might be drafted by the Jets first overall, which is kind of what's happening because Jets are 0-9 right now.
Yeah, they're going to go and they're going to go defeated.
Yeah,
at this point.
So the idea for me, if I was in a situation where I know I can go possibly first overall, like it might not be the team you want, but like.
It's your way in.
It's in. You don't like. It could be your team. You could turn the franchise around. Seeing how many draft picks the Jets have, along with, your goal was to get to the league, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't to be like, I wouldn't be picked by the Seahawks. It's your job was to get your goal and dream was to get to the league. Look what you did. You did it. If you go play a 4th year and you break your femur,
or have a Tua situation where he completely fucks up his
ACL, your NFL dreams might just gone up in smoke.
Yeah,
right.
You had a devastating injury. I remember, I think it was Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa in Ohio State. I think it was Joey Bosa. Or is like
I always get the two mixed up.
I think he tore his abdominal muscle in one of his
teams. I want to. Isn't it? I want to say it's Joe, or
I'm not sure who it was.
Which one's on the Niners? Isn't it Nick Bosa on the Niners?
That's Nick.
I want to say it's Joey Bosa then, because I remember he wasn't the same ever since then. Like,
I'm not sure. I just know it was the Bosa brothers.
I'm pretty sure it was Joey Bosa.
Tore his abdominal in his stomach. That's where the abdominal was. Tore it and then stopped playing for the rest of the year because he wanted to go to the NFL. Unless that's what Trevor Lawrence did, I could see him he could still be a really high draft pick. Mm-hmm. But would you want to risk your NFL career just because you didn't want to go to the Jets?
Right.
I'd be like, an NFL team wants me. I'm going.
Right.
Yeah.
Any NFL team will want to.
Opportunity. Doesn't mean you can be there forever. I mean, overall, if you're going to be picked overall, 1 overall, you're probably going to be there forever.
Yeah.
I lied. It's actually Nick Bosa.
Okay. So Nick Bosa. Fraud. So, like, that's my opinion. If I knew I was going to get drafted, I'd be like, whoever picks me, picks me. I don't care. Yeah. I want an opportunity.
Honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat. As much as I would love to be drafted by a certain team, especially a good team and everything, one of the big factors for me is, again, it was one of the things that Brian said. It's your team. You are that franchise quarterback and everything. And again, in this Trevor Lawrence situation kind of thing. Again, the Jets will most likely draft him first overall. He is now a member of the Jets. That's his team. Just imagine, again, with all those draft picks, they draft right. Yeah. I'm not saying it's going to happen in a year, but imagine it could, maybe through drafts, maybe through free agency, maybe through trades in general.
Maybe they get Zach Ertz. I don't know if Eagles fan want to hear
Shut up. They're not going to get Zach Ertz. Go away.
I mean, they lost Malcolm Jenkins and Nick Foles, so I wouldn't be
surprised.
Leave me
alone. Leave my boy Ertz alone.
That's also cool.
Anyway,
the Eagles.
I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, my point is
saying there's options out. I'm saying there's options out there if he wasn't. Yeah.
Except for Zach Ertz. We're not gonna talk.
Maybe AJ Green. I know his name's always been thrown out.
Yeah, no, throw AJ Green out there, but not Zach Ertz. So let's do that. I like that. Anyway, but no, again, the point is you can have get drafted by a complete shit team, but that's your team, and before you know it, if you get the right pieces, everything, you will be forever known as a player who helped turn that franchise around, and hopefully at some point, you never know. Again, not saying it could happen with the Jets. You never know, though. Or whoever it is that you get drafted to, you can make it a dynasty, and you're part of that dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, that's
and that's something that no one could ever take away from you.
I did just go to the league. Just go to the league.
Right.
Yeah.
And most likely, if you're going number one overall, if it's money, you're more likely going to get more money for your first overall than later in the draft.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Although because of that, your ceiling's going to be higher, or your expectations are going to be higher.
It's true. But
I'm not sure about that, because think about it, they didn't want to play Tua this year yet. They didn't want to play him so early. Like, they want a lot of players to sit and learn. Of course, the situation with Jets, it's kind of like the Bengals. You're going to be playing immediately,
right?
But they're not expecting Joe Burrow to go over 500.
No,
they're not expecting him to carry the Bengals to a playoff win on his first year.
No, especially in that division, that's not happening anytime soon, unfortunately.
Jets is like, they're not going to expect. They're going to expect him to like try to learn the game better, but they're not expecting to like just.
Joe Burrow more so made sense because he was from Ohio, so going to Cincinnati wasn't that big of a deal because he's a hometown kid now.
No, but I meant more like expecting him to do so.
Oh, well. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Regardless who you are as a rookie, they're gonna be like, okay, see what you have, see how you do it.
Right.
Not like, all right, go win us games.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Wentz should be doing.
That's a good question. That is a good point.
$20 million. Mm-hmm. Throwing 13 interceptions to his 10 touchdowns.
A lot, yeah.
Gave 4 turnovers in the Dallas game. 2 picks and 2 fumbles.
Squeaking by the Giants. I mean, the NFC is a shit anyway, so they're still going to make the playoffs, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No one from the NFC East deserves to make the playoffs.
I think they should make Wentz accountable to what's happening.
I mean, he's at that point in his career where at some point you do have to.
2-year vet. He's not 3. He's 5 years in. He's a 5th-year player now.
And unfortunately, every year it seems like his stats slightly go down every year. Granted, you could say maybe injuries played a factor in that. But
huge factor.
But still, regardless, you're a 5th-year player. If you're starting, here's the thing. If you're starting and you have injuries, if you had previous injuries, but you're good now, all should be in the back of your mind if you're playing. If you're on that field, no matter what sport you play, if you're on the pitch, on the field, on whatever, playing soccer, baseball, diamond, the injuries got to go into the back of your head.
Yeah.
They can't be in the forefront of your head. Be like, okay, what happens if I do this? Like, it's going to impede everything. Like, I am for benching Wentz for a game.
Let's see what Jalen Hurts has.
Not to take over, but to make Wentz accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you're losing. You're like, yeah, you're winning. You just won us 2 games. Okay, but you just beat Dallas by.
You play your division essentially. The rest of your season is pretty difficult outside of your division.
you did beat Dallas by 10, but at one point Dallas was beating you and they only had 3 field goals. They kicked field goals in there winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we barely beat the Giants, who don't have anyone either.
They lost Saquon Barkley. They have no one else.
So my opinion is not to have Hurts be in as starter to take his job, but to make Wentz accountable to what's happening.
Yeah.
They can kind of have an epiphany and be like, oh shit, we're not doing well.
Mm-hmm.
I
kind of light that fire under his ass to get him going.
Have you watched his post games, like his interviews? He's like, we need to do better. Yeah. No shit, you need to do better.
Yeah. Well, it's a whole season thing. Saying the same thing over and over again isn't going to do it. At some point, you do have to say, okay. Like even Tom Brady played terrible on Sunday night, and he even took responsibility. Like, it starts with me for us to get better at this.
Just like, I need to have better decision-making skills. Well, no shit you do.
Yeah.
You're throwing the ball into the rafters or into other players' hands.
Mm-hmm.
And again, one of the biggest problems Wentz has, and you see it more and more, is literally each game, he looks like he's getting ready to get rid of the ball. He hesitates, he pauses, and then he takes a sack. Again, literally, you just need to get rid of the ball. Get rid of the ball.
And that's just him trying to extend the play more, too.
And do too much.
Yeah. At some point, you also have to blame the coaching staff saying, stop doing that.
He's a really good player, but he just makes really poor decisions.
Mm-hmm.
If you narrow this poor decision making down, I'm not saying there's nothing. He makes mistakes anyway, but
every QB does.
And it's mindset by a little bit, and you'd be such a better player, and we'd probably have 2 more wins on the board.
Probably, yeah. And we wouldn't be a laughing stock.
I mean,
we probably still would be, but yeah.
And I understand people were saying like, oh, like we don't have our starters out there. Okay, he's been playing with the same dudes for the past 3 games.
Also, your starters, your starters are what? Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey, who can't stay healthy anyways.
Yeah, Rhaegar now. Rhaegar's
our starter. And he's a rookie.
Rhaegar, Travis Fulgham, and then Greg Ward, technically.
Dallas Goedert just came back.
That's what he's saying. Like the players Wentz has been playing with the past a couple games, right?
It's all practice squad.
Or practice squad, yeah. But he's been playing
practice squad team.
But they've been playing with them for 3 games now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to build some kind of
if you're a receiver on an NFL roster, you should be able to catch a ball.
Yes.
At Nelson Aguilar.
Your QB
doing pretty good in Vegas. Just saying.
Hey.
Your QB also should be across the field doing a crossbody throw into 4 dudes in 1 green jersey.
It's true.
No.
Or throwing the ball when it's 3rd and 5 and toss the ball 30 yards.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's one of the other big mistakes he's been making. Just do short passes, give to Miles Sanders or whoever is running. Just nice short run. Doesn't need to be these 25-yard bombs.
Like, every now and then, that's cool. Go ahead, do it if it's open. But if you're 3rd and 5, you don't need to toss that. Throw the 6-yard check down.
Mm-hmm.
Make that work. Get your first down.
And if you do that enough, you should then get some people that are open then. At some point, then you can fire it down the field.
Yeah. So my ending result on that one is bench it for a game. Just 1 game. Don't care.
I'm game with
that.
We're
playing the Giants this week.
Do it against the Giants. Do it against Dallas.
Do it against Washington.
The entire conference sucks. But division, I should say, sucks. But do it against one of them where Hurts doesn't have that, necessity to win.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be like, okay, you play the Giants. If you win, great. If you lose, no one gives a shit because we all suck.
Yeah.
Or Dallas, where they don't have a QB, they have a 3rd string QB in. Do that. Maybe not against the teams you need to win.
Mm-hmm. But again, like
I say, just bench it for 1 game. 1 game.
I get it.
That's fair.
And hopefully it would like what was it, light a fire.
Or even just there's been times where like the first half or like just first half in the game he's just doing terrible. Why not start the next half? Jalen Hurts, just see what he has the rest of that half.
Yeah, even that.
Wants to do. I mean, Hurts to do too much, but we're like, at least if Wentz isn't working during the game and he's throwing interceptions or whatever, change it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If it's not working, change it.
Again, there are times where he's just too reckless out there. Yeah. And it's just it's hurting the team more than he realizes. And because again, like what he's doing on the field, again, like he's trying to be the hero. He's trying to be that ultimate team player. Everyone's basically hurt. And
don't get yourself hurt by taking a hit. You've already taken one too many injuries.
Again, I say get rid of him.
And this is the big issue, though. This is the first year of his 5-6 year contract he just signed. That's where it hurts.
He needs to I don't know what's happening. I've been watching the games, but he's not good. He's not good at all. No one. You can't say, oh, he has no receivers. No, he's not good.
I do wonder if maybe drafting Jalen Hurts, no one's going to say it probably, but maybe that knocked some confidence out of him a bit.
I've been saying that for however long. I say,
I was going to say, a lot of people have definitely been saying that. The moment they drafted Jalen Hurts, I guarantee you that caused some sort of doubt that the Eagles staff has.
You saw it in Cincinnati. Wentz. They punted. Yeah. They punted it and went, who goes for a tie in football? I hate it when they do it in
against
hockey.
Cincinnati.
I hate when they go for a tie in hockey. Why would you do it in football when the whole thing people like about it is that it doesn't end in a tie?
They're playing for overtime.
That means this one thing. That means with Wentz starting, that means you did not trust him
to
make a play.
And Elliott, who hasn't also been great kicking, means you didn't trust him to make a field goal.
Yeah. But I put it more on the QB. You're not going to
I do too.
You're not going to kick that guy. That's too far.
Yeah.
That's way too far. We know Elliott's got a good range and everything when he's accurate, when he's on point. But again, that was still way too far for him to even make it or attempt it, if I think. But again,
with that punt against Cincinnati, that told me one thing. Told me one huge thing. You trusted your
technically two.
Okay, two. One of them was you trusted your defense more than your offense, and two, for me, the second one for me is that you don't trust your 5-year, $120 million starting franchise QB to get you a first down.
Yeah.
That's what that told me. Hey, if you trusted your defense that much, all right, cool. Throw the ball, don't make it, whatever. Defense, step up.
But again, I was going to say, my other point was, for point number 2 is, I don't think Doug did trust his defense enough.
Field, yeah.
Hence why they wanted the ball as far deep as possible. It's of all teams, it's the Bengals. You really don't trust your defense to make.
Joe Burrow was doing really good in that game too.
Yeah, he was. Joe Burrow's doing amazing, but I go back to the fact that we're paying so much money to be a franchise, and you don't trust him to make that throw.
Yeah.
And also, worst case, you just end in a tie anyways.
Yeah.
You had that same result, just you just attempt it.
Try. So, I really don't know the one situation. I have been saying this since Hurts was drafted. Why would you pick why would you use a high second round draft pick on a QB? You could get someone just like Hurts, not as good, but at a 5th round draft pick for a lot less money. And just pick them. Cool, right? You get your backup, right? Or go in free agency and get a QB.
Or you just stick with Nate Sudfeld. Who cares? You just hope that hope Wentz stays healthy.
Yeah. The idea, what I thought about it was, since you went that high in the draft, is that you expected Wentz to get hurt, so you needed a backup that was good enough to carry your team to a decent carry, not like a Nick Foles carry, to bring you to the playoffs and Super Bowl, whatever. But to carry your team the rest of the way, to hobble through, make it the rest of the season, not get blown out every game, right?
Yeah.
That's what I took from it. You don't trust Wentz to stay healthy for the season. We need a good QB, not an okay QB, not a decent QB.
You need a good QB.
Yeah.
You could have gotten an okay or decent QB anywhere.
Yeah.
So
you could have picked up Colin Kaepernick, honestly.
I also don't agree with the Jalen Reagor pick either. I never did. I said Justin Jefferson from the very beginning. He was there. First round, he was sitting there for us. We didn't pick him.
No.
Also, if you're so worried about your offensive weapons, why not go get two wide receivers who are good?
I agree.
Why not get you have two solid tight ends. Go get 2 really strong wide receivers in the draft, not a QB. If you're so worried about your offensive weapons on the field at one time with Wentz, and you say, "Oh, we need to surround Wentz with players,"
do it.
Go get other players.
Get more offensive linemen if you're worried about him getting hurt.
But honestly, this does come back to boys. This does come back to Howie Roseman. He's got it. It's honestly,
I've never really been a big fan of
draft.
No, he can't trade either. No, I don't think he's ever made a trade where like that's been a great trade, or that's been a benefit.
You can argue sense. A couple meaning like this much.
All he did was get rid of Chip Kelly people, and that's why people like him, because they got rid of people who were here from Chip Kelly. Nelson Aguilar was the last one.
Yeah. Well, also Chip Kelly's offense was geared differently, so you need
much differently.
Players there for Peterson's players, like that was what it wasn't like some of them weren't not good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They were good. It wasn't their scheme.
Right.
Chip's
like Jordan Hicks.
It was
I thought that was a bad move letting him go, but they let him go.
Yeah. I don't know. The Eagles suck.
Yeah, they do.
Go Flyers.
Go Union.
Yeah,
they're the best team.
Yeah. First ever championship in Philadelphia history for the Union.
Woohoo, soccer!
No one cares.
I'll support the Union because all Philadelphia sucks. All Philadelphia sports suck.
Yeah.
Sir, Flyers, get out of here with that.
What's their record?
They're not playing.
Well, first of all, they're not even playing because it's the off season.
Exactly. So technically, the Union's
and they're still better than the Eagles.
Exactly. The Union's the best Philadelphia sport right now.
The Union's the best football team. Haha.
You got me. You got him.
Go ahead.
Anyways, I had a quick.
I am home.
To change it up a little bit from our sports back to another topic I wanted to talk about. Because you had texted us saying that like there was some like fight or something at a party you were gonna go to or something like that on Halloween.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking back to there was a weekend when I went up to Bloom like the year after I graduated.
You knew this, Brian.
And I got into a little bit of a tussle, little fight in the middle of a bar.
When was this?
2 years ago.
I was gonna say this is
what?
What's up?
Month. What month?
October, probably. September, October, somewhere around there.
Okay, I wasn't there. I wasn't there.
No, you weren't there for it. No.
Well, I meant, like,
no, you weren't there.
No, I meant more about there for sports or not. Because I was like, yo, I didn't know if I would have texted him and be like, yo, I'm coming.
I held my own. Honestly, I held my own.
Yeah, no, you weren't there for it. I found out because I
had texted him.
Well, no, because I had heard from Danny
Yeah.
I heard from like a couple of different people.
Yeah. So what happened was there was just like this creeper guy that was kind of following us around the whole bar, pretty much for like 15 minutes straight or whatever. And I kind of just got like did a little get out of my way, kind of get out of here, push him around. He just wouldn't go. So then I just push him, just get out of here kind of thing. And then he comes back, pushes me. And at that point, I was already pissed. I was like, fuck it. I don't even care if I get kicked out. And I come back and I push him again, stare him dead ass. I'm like, come at me. Come on. And he stands down and walks away.
Wow.
And I got a high five from it because he must have been creeping on other people.
I'm so proud of you. Honestly, I'm glad I wasn't there because I don't think I would have helped in that situation because I think I would have started laughing if Whitmer said, like, come at me. I think I would have started laughing.
Yeah, knowing you,
I'm not intimidating
depending
at all.
on your state of mind, Brian, you're like, he told you to come at me.
Yeah, I think
anyone else, I would have laughed too if I saw myself doing that.
Because again, it's unexpected. Yeah. You're a quiet guy.
Anybody else do it? I see like me saying it or something like that.
Yeah, no, for you, you're like,
or Tommy, but like you, like it's funny. So I think if I was,
it's one of those things. I don't have an anger problem, but that guy was just pissing me off to the point. I was like, I don't care.
He's an anger problem. He's trying to tell us something.
We'll get him to therapy.
Okay.
There you go.
But it was one of those things. He was just pissing off the people that my friends I were with. Like, fuck it, I'll take him out. I don't care if I have to.
Whitmer, we're learning stuff about Whitmer. So Whitmer, when I come home next, we're gonna box.
No.
Okay.
Let's go to the chat, Brian.
the shot.
But no, that doesn't mean that we're gonna box.
Wait, hold up. If I get you really drunk, then and can we box?
I mean, anything's possible at that point.
It's definitely possible, Brian.
All right, Jeff, we're doing it. I'm gonna get him hammered. I'm gonna bring my UFC gloves. We're gonna just hash it out. There's nothing to hash out, but I wanted to hash it out anyway.
It's funny because everyone that I told from that, like even the friends I was with, they were happy about it. I got a high five from some random person. Jeff was proud of me. The only person not proud of me was Jeff's girlfriend, Danny. She was the only one that didn't like that I did that.
I support it. What are you gonna do? What else are you supposed to do?
I support it. I mean, I can't.
I mean, what are you gonna like? The other option is let's walk away from this guy. But what if this guy just follows us? It's like fuck it. Like, yeah. And the funny thing is, like, there was one of those bars because I think you both went to that bar. It's like that dance kind of bar. There's like the dance floor, and then there's a stage up front. There's the bar. Go down a couple steps. There's the dance floor. I was in the middle of the dance floor when it happened, at like the middle of the night. I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna get kicked out now because some bouncer found like, nope, I'm good. It was like it's one of those moments where it's like, in the heat of the moment, it's like I don't care if I get kicked out and I can't come back to this bar because this guy's being an asshole, and I'm standing my ground because this guy's being an asshole.
See, I don't want to get kicked out of bars.
No?
I've been kicked out once. I've been kicked out of one bar.
That's
don't
a
want
shame.
to get kicked out of another one.
That's just kind of my mindset in like that split second. And then after that, the tension cooled. I was like, all right, back to drinking and having fun.
I support that 100%.
Yeah. I don't know how you can, because what else are you going to do in that situation, right?
No, I just
like you guys. What?
You.
Yeah,
I was because it's you too. Like you did it.
I support your decision, Whitmer.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me chuckle when you told me come at me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I probably said some. I probably was cursing a bit there too. It's for like
I can see it.
Yeah.
I can't see it though. Like the funny thing, I know what happened, but I can't.
But you can't see it. Yeah, I get it.
Well, it depends also how many drinks have you had, because
no, I still can't see it. Regardless, I can't see him saying like pushing another dude and being ready for
it depends.
Physical altercation. Whitmer literally stood there and was ready to swing. Like I can't see that though, because the way Whitmer is.
No, I know it's very hard to.
When he said, "Come at me," that's inviting a fight. That's inviting a physical altercation that he has to be ready to do. That he has to be ready to handle. I can't see it. It's Whitmer.
Yeah. I support the decision nonetheless, though.
I did too.
Was there another guy?
Really?
What?
Was there another guy with you?
No. I was the only guy.
Look at you. Even more surprising. I feel like Jeff or Whitmer would do that if I was there. If I was there, other guys were there. Tommy and I were there. It'd just be like,
100%, yeah.
All right, and then Jeff would be like, "Hey, Brian." And we'd be like, all right, what's happening? What do we have to do?
Yeah, right.
I'm proud of you, Whitmer. I definitely am.
I mean, it's one of those things that's fight or flight. And it's like, I'm not fighting from this. I'm just going to stand my ground.
Yeah.
Because this guy came back at me. And at that point, I was like, okay, here we go. It's going to happen. But then he just walked away.
There you go.
Like he stared at me for like a second and then he just walked away.
Tansy.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Go Whitmer. Yeah.
Thank you.
It was a slow clap, Jeff. You ruined it. Nope, you ruined it.
No.
Damn it. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to go eat dinner anyway, so.
Oh, right. It's after 7.
Yeah.
It's your dinner time.
Dinner time.
That's all I got for today, so.
Yeah.
Until next time, we'll see.
Only good news is I have off from work tomorrow. Go me.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Veterans Day. I don't know.
Oh, right.
You get off on Veterans Day?
Dude, literally, our president. Last thing, real quick. Our president had a Zoom meeting with us. She goes, "Guys, by the way, in like 2 weeks, because you guys have been working hard, I'm giving you off for Veterans Day." I'm just like on the Zoom. I'm like, I'm not questioning it. All right, I'll take it. Let's go.
This dude has off, and I'm gonna be fucking neck deep in work tomorrow.
I'm gonna text you. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
So if I play you in game pitcher tomorrow at work, you'll respond?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will 100% respond. You guys, if you want to play Uno tomorrow, I'll play Uno.
Yo, let's play Uno. Let's go.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Until next time, we'll see you.